Glad to be back with you all as we gather. Beloved community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here, all are blessed and a blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, recovering who we are in our beloved community. It doesn't matter where we've come from, it doesn't matter what we've undone. All that matters is we're here now. Keep an open heart, let Spirit work it out. Beloved community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here, all are blessed and a blessing to be. Yeah. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, recovering who we are in our beloved community. It doesn't matter where we've come from, it doesn't matter what we've undone. All that matters is we're here now. Keep an open heart, let Spirit work it out. Beloved community, we gather in unity. All are welcome here, all are blessed and a blessing to be. Beloved community, where we discover divinity, recovering who we are in our beloved community. Recovering who we are in our beloved community. Recovering who we are in our beloved community. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. That's so beautiful. Well, let's let this song take us right into our meditation. I figured I would share this picture of the full moon, and let's just let it come inside of our imagination. And I was telling people before service that the full moon definitely kept me up last night, but a lot of things came up to be revealed and to be healed. And so I know maybe that feeling will continue in some of us. I know some others of you express the same feelings. But I'm right now just giving gratitude for our connection to this planet, gratitude to our connection to the moon and to the stars. And as we know, all of our atoms were born inside of the stars. So no matter how far away they are, we are all connected. So as I breathe and relax into this meditation, I'm just thinking about the guidance. We here at Unity call it divine guidance because it comes from within. And I'm grateful for this expressing in my life as wisdom and divine intelligence and divine order. So this guidance, this intelligence, and this order is mine when I just surrender my concept of what I think something is going to look like, when I surrender my control over how it's going to get done, when I surrender and trust that whatever is happening here is for my highest and best good always, for the lessons I'm going to learn, but also for the contributions that I'm going to make and I'm making in this very moment. Because as Reverend Verona is going to talk about in a moment, because you are a sacred individual, more sacred here, more sacred than than anywhere, and no one and no thing is more sacred than you are. So I claim my divine guidance, my divine intelligence. I affirm divine order. With just a posture of openness as I go into the silence for just 1 minute. So I'm surrendering and trusting, not in a way that's passive at all. I'm surrendering that which is not me. I'm surrendering the old messages. I'm surrendering the ego. I'm surrendering other people's opinions. So I'm claiming the highest that is absolutely my right in this abundant place. I'm claiming the happiness that is my right in this abundant place. I'm claiming this in this intelligent, harmonious universe of which I'm so grateful to live in. So I take a deep breath. I call it blessed, and so it is. Let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Verona Garland.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm really, really happy to be here, and good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. And also I'd like to say a welcome to the love streamers, whoever watches this after we're here together today. So the title that came through me today is Sacred Stasis. And it translates to me as spiritual equilibrium and harmony. But before we get started, I'd like to do what I usually do, and that is start with a little giggle, a little joke. So there was a minister who was on the pulpit, and this minister was just going to town, just sharing the message and going on and giving a lot of facts and figures and information and spirituality. And there was a person in the front row sleeping, sound asleep. And so the minister kept speaking and kept speaking. And after a while, it really started to get to this minister. So the minister said to the person sitting next to the sleeper, "Excuse me, could you nudge that person next to the person who was sleeping?" Said, "No, why don't you do it? You're the one who put them to sleep." Yes, I love that one. This is kind of like a little inside giggle, but however, maybe we can identify with it. I can identify with it in somewhat because for years and years I was an international flight attendant, and I used to come in from all sorts of other continents and come to service and sit in the front row and fall asleep. However, it was mostly because I was jet lagged, I'd like to think. So anyway, back to our title for today. First two, I'd like to say thank you for being here to co-create together. We are here in one vast container of consciousness, all of us in this together. And no matter what words come out of my mouth and whatever the vessel that I am of spirit expresses, it is also an expression of and an absolute unfolding of all of us here together, all in one consciousness, growing, expanding, and transforming together. So, sacred stasis. Some definitions come first, usually for me, because I'd like us to be on the same page together. So sacred, the word sacred, what does that mean? Now, there are a lot of meanings for sacred, and we all probably have our own. We all could probably say, oh, here's what sacred is. However, for today's purposes together, what I have for being sacred is something that is regarded with reverence, consecrated, devoted to a deity, or numinous. I love the word numinous because numinous means spiritual, surpassing comprehension. And I'd like to expound upon that in saying that we are all sacred. We are all numinous, blueprint, already pre-coded when we come here, expression of the divine. Just stop for a second and let that sink into you that you are sacred. I am sacred. Even say it in your heart. I am sacred. What a thing to know, especially if we come from a lot of other faith philosophy backgrounds where us being the sacredness of the divine was not always something. I was raised a Southern Baptist. It wasn't clear to me when I was being raised made in the likeness of the divine. However, the sacredness that lives and breathes and has its beingness within, through, and as me was not clear to me. So this is something that we get to know from this moment forward. If we don't already know that the sacredness of the divine, each of us is a vessel for it. Each one of us is the space and the place where spirit in its sacredness gets to expand and stretch out and be itself. So that's the first definition, sacred. So we know now that sacred is really another word for I, and it also comes after the I am. As we know, anything that comes after the statement I am is the truth of the divine. So we can each know and say, I am sacred. Now, the next part of this title or this sharing is stasis. And the definition for stasis is a counterbalance, equilibrium, symmetry, or equal influence. And each of us is all of those things in the divinity. Each one of us is all of those things in the lovingness of the divine. As I said, we're all made in, or I didn't say it, but I might have thought it, we're all made in the image and likeness of the divine. So as such, we are the stasis. We are the counterbalance. You know, there's a teeter-totter inside us or outside of us that can go one way or the other. However, if we allow ourselves to know that we are the stasis, we are the symmetry, we are the equal influence of the divine. And by that, I mean equal influence of some of our thoughts and understandings and maybe even beliefs may not actually be the entire truth of who and what we are. However, we are each on this journey of moving through the learning of that. We are each on the journey of grasping and visioning and understanding and collating exactly who and what we are. So this sacred stasis can also be translated as or understood more easily to me as the numinous, which is surpassing comprehension, numinous symmetry of the divine itself, the numinous symmetry of the universe, of the thing itself, as Ernest Holmes calls it, of the universe, which finds its space, its groundedness, its centeredness in, through, and as each one of us, right here and right now. So when I was being with this consecrated symmetry or this numinous symmetry, what showed up for me was the story of Baccarat crystal. First, I want to tell you, Baccarat crystal is something that I really love, and I was introduced to as a very, very young woman and knew nothing about it. However, I do know about it now, and I've had the blessed opportunity to go to the Baccarat crystal factory. And Baccarat crystal is made by artisans, or shall we call them crafts people. They're made by craftspeople, and it is a very high quality lead crystal. And it is one of a kind. I mean, at Baccarat crystal, Baccarat crystal does not make things like at a box store. You can't go to Baccarat crystal and say, okay, I'll take one of those, and then know that 1,000 of your neighbors all have that same thing. That's not. Now, I'm not saying that exclusivity is something that's special. I'm just saying that at Baccarat Crystal, the artisans there, they really concentrate on distinct and direct expressions of the divine. They really embody the aligning and harmonizing of life's elements when they blow this crystal. And the elements they combine are earth, air, fire, and water. And when you think about it, those are some of the same elements we're made of: earth, air, fire, and water. And the craftspeople at Baccarat Crystal, they already know what's going to happen with what is going to unfold and manifest before they start blowing the crystal. And this is because from what my observation and what I believe and what I've read about them and know about them is, once again, they're aligning and harmonizing with the beauty of the divine within, through, and as them. Yes, there probably is some VP somewhere who's looking at all the designs saying, oh, we'll take that. Oh, we won't take that. Oh, maybe the marketing people are saying something. However, the crafts people, I believe, and I know, are starting from a place of harmonizing and aligning with the beauty and the intuitive knowingness of the divine within, through, and as each one of them. And then they blow all these beautiful pieces of vases and wine goblets and all sorts of other things, candy dishes, all sorts of really liqueur glasses, really just scrumptious things. And why isn't I'm bringing this up is because for us to actually be sacred stasis or numinous symmetry, then we get to align and harmonize with the divine from within. And what does align and harmonize really? What does it mean? Well, besides it being the numinous symmetry, align means to join the universal order. So as I align and I join the universal order, then I am in the universal order. I am one with the one. I am one with the one who created me. So if we align with all that is within us, then all that is within us gets an opportunity to pour forth, to flow forth, to show up, because we are one of a kind. Isn't it exciting? We are one of a kind. We are bespoke. We are customized. We are one of a kind. And no one can bring to the planet what you can bring, I can bring, we can bring, except ourselves. You know, I'm sure you've all heard this old joke. You might as well be yourself. No, everyone else is taken. However, we are one of a kind. So when we align with the universal order and allow ourselves to do exactly this thing that Charles Fillmore says, which is align your thoughts and actions with the divine, fostering a state of holy unity. So if I align my thoughts and actions with the divine, fostering a state of holy unity, then I am bringing the gifts. I am being obedient to the reason that I came here. I am bringing the reason I came here. I'm walking this in the footsteps of it. I am following the trail. I am on the journey. And the other way to do this, just like the craft people at Baccarat, is to harmonize. And harmonize means to unify and be in agreement. Harmonizing with spirit is being the truth of who and what we are. Really, it's being the purity, the clarity, and the awareness of the divine from within. In the Science of Mind textbook, it says, the original spirit is harmony. Isn't that comforting? It's very comforting to me to know this, that the original spirit is harmony, beauty, truth, and everything that goes with the ultimate reality. And the universe is not divided against itself. Now, this is really important, I think, for us to listen to today, because the state that the world is in now, which we all signed up for, this is all a great transformational transmutation that we all said before we incarnated here. Take me, take me, take me. I want to be a part of it. I have something to give. So that's it. The universe is not divided against itself. It will accomplish everything and nothing can hinder it. Yeah. So I was really thrilled by all this and really energized and enthused by it. And I thought, in my spiritual being, having a human experience, what is mine to participate in? What am I to be? And what showed up is the way that we get to do this, to be in sacred stasis, is heart, I'm pointing to the wrong place, heart and head symmetry, or head and heart symmetry. So head and heart symmetry, our heart space, as we know, is our true self. Our heart space is the balanced responses of the divine genuine intuitiveness, and it is living authentically with the life aligned in the values and beliefs of spirit within. That's our heart space. Our head space can, in its own way, be a projection of the effects we see around us. You know, I might be on the freeway and I see something, and let's say I'm on the freeway and I see someone stopped by a police officer or highway patrol. It could be all sorts of things. It could be that, I don't know, they're having a baby and the highway patrol is helping them. Or it could be that the highway patrol officer, it's at the end of the month and they need to get their quota. Who knows? And it also has to do with my head perspectives, what's going on in my head. A lot of times my head perspectives are an expression of or an out picturing of that thing that we call edging God out, better known as our ego. Because you know, your ego can pick you up and take you around and swirl you around and take you all sorts of places that have nothing to do with the truth. So for head and heart coherence, this heart and head coherence, here's 3 things we can do. The first one is cultivate mindfulness, which is have a regular practice of meditation and contemplation and commit to it for ourselves. Commit to yourself. Commit to the divine within. Second thing we can do is check the course of the autopilot or the cruise control that is running our life. Just stop and check in. Maybe even every hour, just stop, take a breath, breathe in spirit, breathe out spirit, and just see, are my thoughts, my actions, my beliefs, my activities, my endeavors, are they in line with the truth of who and what I am, or are they part of the group consciousness? Or are they part of something that I heard on, I don't know, TV? Are they part of some beliefs that my loving family dumped into me thinking that they would be helpful, but it didn't work out that way? I'm trying to say that kind of in tongue in cheek, but however, the things that we learned earlier in our lives. And the third way for head and heart coherence, or heart and head coherence, is to incarnate the compassion that we are, which means we are all an incarnation of the divine. We are all an incarnation of what I might call Olodumare, God, Jehovah Jireh, Jesus the Christ, Yeshua ben Joseph. Incarnate, be the body temple of compassion. Use these 3 things for heart and head coherence. Now, the way this is working out in my particular life, because when all these showed up for me, I thought, spirit, okay. Recently, I wrote a book. And I got the book up and out. And I was so excited because the book is called Destination Freedom, Flying Out of Debt. And it's about my journey with debt. And it's about the journey I had with debt when I was $35,000 in debt to Nordstrom's and the Visa Corporation. And I wasn't quite clear what I was going to do, where I was going to go. However, so I was moved in spirit, let me know it's time to share this journey and the gifts that showed up as part of my journey, the spiritual gifts. And so I wrote the book. I was so excited, got the book published. Shortly thereafter, I had scheduled cataract surgery, which is, of course, a miracle. And I am blessed to have the opportunity to experience glaucoma also in my eyes. So the cataract surgery for me is a little more challenging and a little more complicated. It's not just straight go in there, slice your eye open, put the other lens in, let it heal back up. So my healing takes a little longer. So here my book is out. It's new. I have all these ideas, all these marketing ideas. I want to get it to all the places where I speak for all their bookstores. I want to make sure every single member of my entire family gets the book. I mean, I am really just on it. In the meantime, my body is saying, heal, heal, heal. And my eye, which happens to be this eye, gets stabbing pains in it when I'm not allowing myself to rest. When I'm gung-ho and just, okay, like my glaucoma surgeon, she said to me, well, Miss Garland, we're going to need you to rest. And I said, ha, 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 ha. And she said, well, you are at choice, which I thought was very interesting. I didn't know she was a metaphysician. However, and I got to find out that I was at choice. And what finally came through to me is that I got to use this heart and head coherence, these practices of cultivating mindfulness. Be still and be mindful and contemplative. Allow myself to do that, and not just in the framework of my everyday, okay, this is the time between 6:30 and 7:30 in the morning that I do meditation, but really be still all throughout the entire day. Be still, contemplate, be mindful. And you probably can't see this, I don't know if you can, but on my wrist here I have that tattooed, be still. Something I've had for, oh gosh, 25 years. And so I got to really do this, to really cultivate mindfulness. The second thing I got to do was to check the course of my autopilot or my cruise control. And my autopilot was go, 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 do, make this happen. I got to check that and know that it's not about the doing and the going. It's about the being. It's about really, in steadfast faith and humility, understanding that the how is up to spirit. It's not up to me. I get to make my desires known. I get to identify and be in a place of awareness of my wants. However, needs are filled by spirit, and the how is filled by spirit. And the third thing was I got to incarnate compassion, and this was maybe the most challenging. I got to be compassionate with myself and my body. I got to know that my particular beloved, special, custom-made body temple was taking longer to heal than maybe someone else, or there is no parameter that I needed to own up to. I got to incarnate, be in my body temple, and in that way be compassionate with myself. So this is the way that these things, this head and heart coherence, exercises or abilities, cultivating mindfulness, checking the course of my, what I like to call autopilot or my cruise control, because we have cars here in California, we use cruise control, and incarnating compassion. These are the ways that the sacred stasis that I am, that you are, that we are, which is the numinous symmetry of the divine, can make itself known. So I invite you today to look within yourself and understand and know that being the sacred stasis in alignment and harmony is as easy as participating in wholeheartedly, committedly, and joyously in heart and head coherence. I invite you to accept the invitation and RSVP within your own soul. And so it is. Namaste.
The dawn is breaking within you. Can you feel the promise of the morn? Your soul is waking to this moment, a new day waiting to be born. We are one in the devotion, naked in the truth for all time. We are moved by the emotion. We are one with the divine. We are a portal to awakening. We are living in God's love. Feels like our hearts are finally opening. Forgiveness rains down like a flood. We are one in the devotion, naked in the truth for all time. We are moved by the emotion. We are one with the divine. Standing in the light, arms held open wide, emerging from a night, fears all set aside. No place quite as bright, no place left to hide. Everything is right, and here we will abide. We are one in the devotion, naked in the truth for all time. We are moved by the emotion, and we are one with the divine. We are one with the divine. We are one with the divine.